Hello everybody, it is me, Little Rainstorm, and today I am doing the Style Challenge, and I'm sure you know what this is, but just in case you don't, the Style Challenge is where you draw a drawing of one of your characters, or maybe not even a character, just a drawing, in your own style, and then you redraw this character or drawing or whatever in other people's styles. And I'm just gonna warn you right now, I did a terrible job on this. The um, the drawings do not look like in the styles of the artists, and even if they sort of resemble it, the drawings are very bad anyway. So I'm starting out just by drawing my character of myself, and this is the last video where I'll be drawing myself. I know that all of the art videos I made so far, I'm drawing myself. I swear, I'm not self-centered. It's just how it turned out. So, since this drawing is just meant to be redrawn in other styles, I didn't put too much time and effort into it. You can see that the line art is kind of messy, and the shading isn't super strong, but hey, it wasn't that big of a drawing anyway. It was just to be redrawn in other styles. My style wasn't really the one that mattered. It was just, the one for reference. So the four artists that I mimicked the styles of were LavenderTowne, her actual name is Haley Newsome, that is just her internet name, Kasey Golden, ItsLopez, I'm not really sure what ItsLopez's name really is, I just know her actual name, and Angel Ganev, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not exactly sure of his real name either. But we started with LavenderTowne. I organized it from what I thought would be easiest for me to mimic to hardest, because Haley Newsome and Kasey Golden, they both have cartoony styles, and I do cartoons, and my style is actually inspired by Haley's a lot. So I thought that I would do really well on hers, but it actually went terribly. She uses a pen for lining called the Thick and Thin, which is a Photoshop brush, so I couldn't get it, and I didn't know how to mimic it with the G pen, which is what I use for inking. So I used a combination of the calligraphy brush and the G pen, and it looks terrible. And even if I got the inking perfectly, she does hair so nicely, and I didn't do it very well. I did cell shading, which she used to do, but recently she's been kind of doing this blurry shading. She said she likes it because she makes it look softer, but I did cell shading just because that's what I know how to do, and I just didn't challenge myself very hard, obviously. But I think that this drawing could have gone way better if I just inked it the way I normally ink. It wouldn't look like her inking, but it'd look better. And also for the highlights, she doesn't do her highlights like this, but in the photo that I was using for a reference, it's how she did the highlights, so that's why I did it like that. But I'm not a huge fan of how that came out. Next was Kasey Golden, and considering how Haley's drawing went out, I decided to get more references than just the picture that I had. So something that Haley and Kasey both do is they use shapes for the noses. Things like triangles. I think Haley does some of her characters with hearts, but I think it's so cool. It's so awesome. My characters don't really have noses. It was kind of funny. When I finished this, I went to look at my drawing and I saw the nose that wasn't there, and I was like, what? Where'd it go? My biggest problem with doing Kasey's style was that her line art is so clean and perfect, and my line art is awful. I could not get it so clean and perfect. There are some parts, like right now, where I cheated and I just used the line tool. Although, on the hair, you see those two diagonal lines I got very straight, which I was not expecting to get so well. And I did the line art thinner because she has thinner line art, but it ended up not looking very nicely when I did it. And then comes to me coloring. So she's a watercolor artist, so I tried to get the texture of her drawings by using a brush that is on Clip Studio Paint, but the problem is that this is not the texture of her drawings, because it's not necessarily the paint gives it the blah. It's not the paint that gives it the texture. It's the paper she uses. I think she uses cold press. So the texture does not look very nice, and the color was kind of light. Next, I chose ItsLopez and Angel Ganev as kind of my challenge ones because I knew I would not be able to mimic their styles. But I actually really like the way that ItsLopez drawing turned out. It doesn't look like her style, but I just liked the way it looked, honestly. I made the eyes way too big. I didn't nail the head shape. The head shape isn't very realistic. It's more of like a anime head shape. I was scared of the nose. I am not good at drawing noses. I'm not really good at drawing anything realistically, and her style is kind of like a semi-cartoon, semi-realistic. But I am not good at anything realistic, so I knew I wouldn't be able to nail any of it, but I knew the nose was going to turn out the worst part of it all. I really like the way the hair came out. It's not as detailed as she makes the hair, but I do think it looked nice when I finished. And the face was okay. The lips looked sort of weird. My line art is not like the line art she does. I think that her line art is thinner than I did in this drawing. Oh, also, can we just talk about those eyebrows? Those are a mess. But her line art is thinner than the lining that I did, and I don't know if this is for sure, maybe she does it in some drawings, but I think that she puts a layer over and changes the color of the line art, because some people don't like to keep the line art black, they like to change the color so that it matches the drawing better. Like for the skin, you might change the black line art to like a darker color than the actual skin. But that is how I did it. I did it with black line art, and I did it thicker than she usually does in her drawings. Honestly, none of these look like the style they're supposed to match. For this one, the line art was really wonky. All of them, the line art was really wonky. I'm still practicing with line art. I'm not super good at it. I tried to do texture in the hair, kind of like how she does, but then I ended up not liking it, so I kind of just blended it in to the rest of the hair, which you can see right here. And then here comes me trying to do the nose with the shading. It did not work very well. Kind of didn't do so well on that. And then I tried to add the blush, which didn't work so well either. And then, as you can see, none of the clothing on any of these characters is wrinkled because I still haven't figured out how to draw wrinkles on clothing yet. I know I should know how to do that, but whenever I try to do it, it just doesn't look very good. Now we're on to our last artist, which is Angel Ganev. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and I also don't know his real name. But for the last 3 sketches, I looked up new references because the ones that I've chose were not good references. For this one, I think it might have turned out the worst, even though Haley's or LavenderTowne's didn't come out very well. I think this one came out the worst. It did not look good. It didn't look good. It didn't mimic his style. None of them look a lot like their styles, but this one it doesn't look good. The proportions are off. The hair was weird. I thought the hair was gonna go nicely because I finished the drawing for ItsLopez and I was like, I like the hair. Maybe I'll actually do good on this next one, but it didn't turn out nice at all. The eyes kind of freaked me out a little bit. I didn't do a very good job on the eyes. And then the hair, not the hair, the collar of the shirt doesn't look nice. It didn't turn out. None of this turned out the way I wanted to for this drawing. And then I don't watch his YouTube channel, but I do look at his sketches or his Instagram, and his Instagram he posts mostly sketches. So I tried to do that sketchy look here. It didn't work. It does not look like a sketch, it just looks like very bad line art. And then for this one, I also tried to do painting like I did with Casey's, because he has a lot of texture in his drawings, and this just didn't work out. Either the texture just doesn't look good, and the drawing doesn't look good. The nose looks the worst in this drawing. I'm not good at noses in any type, shape, form, no matter who the person is, big noses, small noses. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and here are the drawings.